Yo, what's going on, guys? So got a Gammamon deck profile for you guys for RB1. Unfortunately, this deck isn't super competitive, but if you're looking for a really fun deck just to kind of mess around with at locals and stuff, and if you're a fan of Ghost Game and whatnot, I would highly recommend this deck. So guys, let's go ahead and get into it. So of course, for the rookies and the eggs, it's basically the whole line is the deck. Like what you're playing is just pure Gammamon. So we've got Gammamon. This one here is the RB1, where when one of your effects places a Digivolution card under this Digimon, draw one. It's literally just Doraemon, except red. There is another Gammamon from BT8, I think. Yeah, this one where if the Digimon has 6,000 or more, draw one. They're both draw eggs. I think this comes up a little bit more now that we've kind of basically got a whole deck put together. Before, we didn't have too much synergy. It was kind of just like, okay, swing with your champions. Kind of just like a champion Gammamon rush deck, but now we actually have like a gimmick to kind of play with. So I think the Doraemon effect is really what you want here, because there's a lot of effects that put something underneath the stack, and then of course for your rookies, just 12 Gammamons. This one has the I think best kind of main passive effect. The deletion inherited is pretty solid too, but it's really just like the only other Gammamon name that's not like super terrible, I don't think. Like if we look at all the Gammamons, I think it's literally just these three, except for, then there's also the one cost, like the one that can attack unsuspended. This is cool because like this your turn carries over to like your other Digimon, because the whole gimmick of this deck is to gain the effects of Gammamon in the Digivolution sources of your main stack. So basically treating the main effects of your Gammamon as inherited effects. So for example, something like Kana Weissmon says, all turns this Digimon gains all effects of all cards with Gammamons in their names in this Digimon's Digivolution card. So that means, if you're not super familiar, like let's say you've got a stack that has like this Gammamon plus like this Chaos Gammamon, this level 4, and then the Kana Weissmon. The Kana Weissmon will then have evade from the main effect of this. It'll have this your turn once per turn when you play a red tamer, draw one, and it'll have the inherited, and of course maybe an egg effect or something like that. So it basically turns all your main effect into inherited. This one's fine. This one's the best inherited. Just boosting 2k is pretty important, not only playing around security, like threats from being deleted by a battle, but also there are a couple effects that require you to be at certain DP thresholds, and we'll kind of talk about that. And then this one is just the best Gammamon, 100,000,000%. This one is just like if this Digimon's Gammamon and its text, it gains plus 2,000, so it doesn't even have to be one of the Gammamons itself. There are a couple non-named Gammamon, such as Arcturismon and Proximamon, that you're playing, but because they have Gammamon in the text somewhere, they will still get that plus 2,000. And then it's just your searcher. It grabs a Gammamon in the text plus hero, so literally anything in the deck plus any of your hero tamers. So really good. Definitely want to max out on this one. And then for the champions, you're kind of playing a mix of a bunch of different kind of mechanics in one deck. So I'm not really too set on the ratios yet. So first of all, we have 2 copies of Chaos Gammamon. Evade is really strong, so I really like having this one, especially because your boss monster Seriesmon has an effect where on Digivolving, you get to delete something, and then your turn, when something's deleted, you may unsuspend. So typically, you're going to pass turn by Digivolving this, deleting something, unsuspending, and then you've got the Evade underneath it, so you'll be able to suspend it to protect your Digimon from battle and or card effects. So Evade really strong. I might consider bumping this up, but again, there's just so many good ones that you kind of want to make room. Just one of the Wezen, the Piercing Wezen, just because Piercing's good, but of course not super necessary. One of the blocker, again, being able to have this is really nice as well. Sometimes you can kind of get that evade blocker or like retaliation blocker. So there's a lot of different cool combinations. You can get like Piercing Blitz or like Piercing Raid, but the new one has Raid from RB1. So they're just, you basically can get every single keyword in the game on this guy, which I think is pretty cool. It's literally like a rainbow theme game deck. So Piercing Blocker, and then we've got the 2 Gluces. Both of the Gluces are really good. Again, I think before RB1, you were definitely playing 4 of this one. It basically gets Retaliation, and then on deletion, you can play a Gammamon suspended from your trash without paying the cost. And then the new one has the same on deletion, but end of attack. By deleting this Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to the deleted Digimon's DP. So if you're boosted with, let's say like one of the Gammamon inheriteds, you can take out a pretty big stack. And of course, not only is this good on a Gloose because he just gets to out things, but like let's say if you had that on like one of your Kano Weissmons or your Serious Mons, you get to swing, maybe do a couple security checks, you delete something off series, delete something off of this end of attack, and then you get to float back into a Gloose Gammamon. So this one's really good, just for the removal effect. And then for the other one, we got the 2 Beetle Gammamon. So this one gives Blitz, or just has Blitz when Digivolving, and then this one has Raid. And then when Digivolving, if you don't have hero in play, you get to play a hero. So a lot of the new like Pro Tag champions do have this kind of effect where they play their main tamer, you know, the Geograys or the Greymons or Geomons, Growlmons, whatever. So this one was really good. And by the way, in case you were wondering about the colors, pretty much the entire evolution lines just digivolve without requirements. Like all of these guys digivolve 2 from Gammamon. So if you're playing your Gammamon as your rookies, you don't really have to worry about colors here. Similarly, for your level 5s, these digivolve 3 from Gammamon, level 4 with Gammamon in the name. So let's talk about the level 5s. There are a couple other ones that are like pretty solid. If you wanted to include, like, let's say, any of the other level 5s, there is this one, Fumamon. This one's good for trashing Digivolution sources and freezing stuff. This guy, a Gillied Human, is good for suspending things and freezing them that way. And then we do get a couple like Ace cards. We get Regulusmon, Ace, and the LM pack. I don't know when we're getting that. And then also Bombermon and BT15. But for now, I think the Kano Weissmons are definitely the strongest ones. So let's talk about the first one. This is the BT10. So once per turn, when one of your tamers becomes suspended, this Digimon gets plus 2,000, and then if it's 12,000 or more, it gains Psych Attack plus 1. So basically, you want to try to boost this by suspending one of your red tamers. So like, let's say if you have this Kano Weissmon, all of your red tamers are able to boost. So like the BT8 hero, you get to declare your attack, boost it by 2,000, and then the Kano Weissmon boosts itself by 2,000 again. So now you're 12,000, checking 2 security cards. Similarly, this hero is really strong because it just gives Psych Attack plus 1. Doesn't give the DP, but like let's say if you've got this inherited or this inherited, that's plus 2k already, so you're base 10, you suspend the hero, give Psych Attack plus 1, Kano Weissmon, give 2,000 Psych Attack plus 1, so now you're 12k checking 3 security cards. And then that's of course even better when you combine it with Seriousmon, because when Digivolving you get to place a Gammamon underneath it, delete something that's equal or lower DP, so by that point it'll be 15,000, delete something, and then you get to unsuspend it. If you've got the memory to continue your turn, you can then continue, take out the rest of their security stack. So I think this deck has a lot of really solid aggro plays with these 2 cards in tandem. And then of course the alterns and the inherited is this Digimon gains all the effects of Gammamon in their name in this Digimon's Digivolution card. So of course then you can like Digivolve the Seriousmon over the Kano Weissmon. It'll gain this inherited, so then it'll gain this effect again, and then you can continue using it, and it's just really, really powerful. Not to mention the champions in your stack, which are the ones that give like the keywords that you're going to be wanting. So maybe you've got Raid or Retaliation or Blocker or Blitz or whatever. And so that's really good, and why I like this card a lot. The other Kano Weissmon from RB1 again has the same alterns effect, but this one's really good because it gets to warp, and we all know how powerful warping is. I mean, take your you know, the look at the EX3. No, it's the starter deck Imon, the warp one. You know, if you've got 20 or more in trash, just warp into a mega, or you know, the bond cards. Warping has just always been good. So this one is no exception to that, although not quite as powerful. All things considered, is pretty solid though. So one of your cards with one of your Gammamon has a Digivolution card with a Gammamon in its name, may Digivolve into this card in your hand for Digivolution cost of 3, ignoring Digivolution requirements. So the thing I really like about this is that it's for 3. Almost every single warp that we've seen in the game, aside from the examples I just, okay, so maybe not every single warp, but a lot of warps, right? Most of them cost 4. Like, if you look at the Warp Gammamon, Warp Vmon that warps in the All-Force, the Shoutmon and Omni Shout, all of those are 4 cost, and it's really awkward because a lot of times you're 3 and you don't want to pass turn, but this one is really, really solid, so I love that you can just promote Rookie, stick something underneath it, and then as long as you've got any card with a Gammamon underneath it, you can just warp into this and then go like Serious-mon or something on top of it. So I think this propels your plays like into the next level. Like, this card is really, really solid. And if you're wondering, like, well, okay, how do you actually get Gammamons underneath this kind of Weissmon? And so there's a couple different ways. Number one, Serious-mon, of course, but of course you're saying, like, how do you warp into the ultimate? Well, you need the Mega, so like, let's not talk about those. The Megas obviously do put those underneath. The main way you're going to be doing that is going to be actually, let's play for this guy, maybe 2 copies of this. So the main way you're going to be doing this is through the RB1 hero. So start of your main phase by placing 1 Digimon card with Gammamon in its name from your hand as one of your Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards, gain a memory and draw 1. So it's got that really, really powerful, like reminds me of like the Triple Tamer from Crossheart, or like Analog Man, where you just stick something, gain a memory, draw, and then not only that, but then it also helps you get to that 12,000 DP threshold with that kind of Weissmon, boosting by 2,000 anytime you just Digivolve into a Gammamon, or something the Gammamon's name, or text rather. So really, really good on both fronts. So I think this is definitely a 4 of. So your ideal play is like even if you think about this, right? Like turn 1, evolve Gammamon, and then like play this hero. Turn 2, promote, stick something under with this, gain a memory, draw card, and then like warp into this guy. Like turn 2, you already have this guy on field, and then maybe you've like warped into like a raid or a blitz or something. You can just go ahead and use those effects, and then give it plus 2,000 with the hero, and then maybe go into Serious-mon afterwards. So I think this card is just really, really insane. For those reasons. And then for the level 6s, we're just playing, of course, the 4 copies of Serious-mon. This one's the staple. Removal effect, unsuspending, just fantastic all-around card. Arcturus-mon, I think this card's pretty solid. The only downside being that it's a 4 cost. You're never paying 5 for this, but it is a 4 cost. It's a similar effect to Sirius. Instead of unsuspending itself, it has a really strong undulation effect, but when Digivolving, you can just stick a Gammamon underneath and then delete a Digimon with a level less than or equal to the number of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. It does float into Proximamon, so if it is deleted, you can return 1 Digimon card from your trash to your hand, which is just unrestricted, by the way. That's kind of cool. And then by trashing a Serious-mon, you can play Proximamon without paying the cost. So really strong, and then it's inherited, actually really insane as well. If you combine this with like a Kano Weiss or like a Serious-mon and like raid into them and then trash security card, or maybe this doesn't even have to like kill the Digimon by battle, like something like Metal Tyrannomon. If you just have this underneath like your Serious-mon, like let's say you 2-check them, you Digivolve this, stick the Arcturus, pop their guy, trash security, they're down to 2 security, swing, check 2 more, and then maybe Omni per game, which is why I like Omni in this deck. But yeah, Arcturus pretty solid. Proximamon, this card's good. It's like cool, but it's just really hard to get onto the field. You could evolve it for 3 from Sirius with Arcturus Digivolution card. That doesn't happen like too much, but it's here. I don't think I really want to focus the deck around it because it's like fine as a card. All turns, once per turn, when another Digimon's deleted, you may play level 4 with the Gammamon from your trash without paying the cost. So spamming the board pretty solid. End of your turn by placing a Digimon card with Gamma, so you get to basically reveal its sources. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP. So again, just deletion effects. Then you can trigger the the first effect off the second. So overall, pretty solid. 15k is nothing to scoff at as well. Omnimon to close out games. I am playing 2 copies of Offense Training. I obviously these aren't out yet, so you could probably just swap this with Red Memory Boost for now. And then when we do get BT14, I'd probably recommend this just because it can search heroes. Again, not set on the ratios. I'd probably want to play like 3 of this, maybe even 4. And then then lastly, just the tamers we talked about. This hero, just boosting DP, memory setter. This one giving sec attack +1, and then this one being the all-important like sticking sources as well as a DP boost. So yeah, guys, that is going to be the video. Look forward to some gameplay pretty soon, if not up already. But that's going to do it for this one. Let me know what your thoughts are on Gammamon. Do you think it's competitive? Do you think it's viable at all? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.